So, hello everyone, and have a nice Saturday. Today I eventually will do some iRacing, and yeah, I do have a 2-year subscription. However, with all the FSR stuff and all the other shit going on, I do not really have time for it doing it. Hence I got a very low iRating, like I think 1340 and something. I'm not even sure what license I am in. I think it's a D license, 3.43. But yeah, since iRacing is well the place to be currently in terms of competition. Apart from the fact that FSR and rFactor 2 is really some nice stuff. Sadly does not get the attention at the minute. Yeah, so I would like to test the waters again with iRacing, and I'd like to welcome Lawbet on my stream here. Thank you very much for watching. Let's see, I did one race the other morning where I simply missed the start and I spun out 2 or 3 times, and yeah, I know that's not good for my rating at all. But yeah, that's how things go sometimes. I'm not used to race such cars at all, and I'm not used to the physics of iRacing really. However, today we do race on Mazda MX-5 on Lime Rock Park. A really short circuit, like just minute and a second, or minute and 2 seconds. Got 8 corners, so very short track, hence why we do 20 lap race. And yeah, today we're just out there to have some fun, maybe do not get an incident for rather cutting, contact, loss of control or whatever, and see whether we can develop some little iRating. I think the problem about this iRating system is that it actually does not favor driving and racing at all, because people in my situation with a low rating, they just try to go clean. They don't want to leave the tracks, they don't want to cut, they don't want to have contact with each other. And the easiest thing to do to not have contact with each other is, well, either leading the race from the front and be fast enough to build a gap, or stay in the back and have no no battling going on whatsoever, so just stay safe. That's probably the best ways. As you can see, I just handed an off track for that, and probably I was just lucky to get not another incident for loss of control. This time I should get it. Anyway, that's iRacing be like, and we just see click race on the replay screen to join. Race. So we will just have a look how everything suits us, and yeah, I mean, it's just about fun racing. As I said, I want to increase my iRating a little bit. It takes so much time to get you up into the higher ratings there. You won't do it in a few days, so yeah, and you have to do it continuously, because I think there is even some restriction on it, like if you do some races and then do nothing for over 1 or 2 weeks, you are downgraded or something. I do not really know. I have to say I do not really know anything really about this iRating system and how it eventually really works. The only thing I do know is that better you keep it clean in order to get up the ladder. Talking a bit about the Mazda, they got no really downforce helping gadgets like winglets or something. In fact, it's a cabriolet, so I think even running behind each other doesn't grant you any kind of slipstream, at least for my feel, but my feel might be broken due to all this open wheeler stuff I do. And I got Ross with on the stream as ACR Nobody, and yeah, that would be in fact interesting if you could join the same lobby with me. Ross, I think there are 42 people registered, and it's actually the official practice of this session, so I'm not sure whether you can join me in here. Would be fun though. With the practice being over, we now got 2 chances for qualification. I think qualifying is 8 minutes and 2 laps, so 2 timed laps, everything being run private. Just looking at the contenders at the minute. Yeah, Ross, I agree. Like, I opened this iRacing today and it was like, get the required content, and it was like 2 GB. Okay, seems fair. I mean, I regularly open the iRacing feed in order to get the latest update, but every single time you pop on, it's just massive tons of content that needs to be downloaded. Looking at the entries, I can't see any names I really know of, or any names I recognize. So we just go. And hope to be fine doing the qualification. Yeah, Ross, it's what I feared, to be fair. Like, if we would still have been in practice when the stream actually started, this would have been still possible, I think. But as you just said, right now it isn't. So let's see where we can put ourselves in. We really want to look at doing 1 minute 1 anything. So let's see. I have no really clue where the delta best on the front, on the top is referring to. That really wasn't good for the lap time. Final corner. Carrying a lot of speed. Let's see if we can do anything on the second lap. Too much sliding really costs time. Good afternoon to you as well, Kevin. Thank you for being around. And rip. Well, 1 minute 1.1. That's half a second quicker than my fastest race lap time last time around. In the first race today, I scored a 1.2.0 as qualifying lap or something. So we just drive it back to the pits. Simply park the car. And then we will see where this 1.1 takes us. Right, someone did it just 59.9. I'm not used to this simulator at all, so I'm gonna probably start in the mid-pack or something. Well, I lost a few tenths at the chicane. It's a difficult corner anyway, the car gets so loose when braking that uphill right-hander. But it might just be me being a noob, so yeah, no surprise to me that I'm not really at the front. But we will just see. I would be happy to be in the top 5 at the end. And then stay clean in the race. And probably that's the hardest part. And I'm not sure if my eyes are trolling me, but I can see Brian Ferguson. Hello, my old friend. I haven't heard anything of you in the past few weeks. It's nice that you are still around. Happy you joined me in here. Guys, don't judge me on the driving today. It's a Saturday after a long Friday. I'm doing a sim I'm not really used to. I'm just out for having some fun. Ross, my iRating is 1340. So low, really low. License is, I think it's a D 3.43. But yeah, we will see what it is after the race, if I can keep it clean. Last race I spun 2 times, but now I just sort of know of where to go quick, where to go slow, and if I need to defend or something, I just pull over and let people pass. Because I want to get some good iRating per race, and that's, as I said, harms the idea of racing in general. Of course, it will put people with same strengths into one lobby. Probably not at this stage. I mean, if you go a low iRating and people join the lobby, especially with the Mazda being the entry series, I think you have 40 or 50 people on your iRating, but the really good ones can have the same iRating as the really slow ones. So every lobby is like mixed up with several people, and we just lost another place. I actually was happy scoring a 101.1, but sadly enough though, didn't really get me where I wanted to be. Anyway, we're about to race. As I said, 20 laps. I always found it useful to start with the clutch. Last time it was pretty funny. I had like 50 seconds remaining on the clock and then I said I missed the start. Not the worst start you can have, I think. And that's exactly what I mean. Like in a normal race I would have already put my nose anywhere, because a slightest bit of contact is, especially in terms of GT racing, is something you can live with. Just really slight nudging, like not making heavy contact in order to push people wide or make a pass stick or something. But very, very, very slight nudging and touching and leaning. That's something I think in GT cars is okay, something you can live with. But actually with the iRating system going on, I don't want to say it's supported, but it definitely, the chance of you getting an incident is a lot higher, and I think making contact is 4 incidents at one time in terms of the counting. And I actually do see where I lose all the time compared to all the others. It's the chicane I really take bad. But obviously with the car bouncing that bad over the curbs, I don't want to have it unsettled, because yeah, I would fear I lose it then. Right, keeping this 5th position gonna be some sort of a task. Half a second gap to the car behind. Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. I know I was just a little bit more to the inside and I immediately got counted and off track. So we got our first incident here. And I think this has nothing to do with the netcode, and I do not know how people are able to like do those racing lines without being handed those incidents. But hence, this is why I'm only looking for my own. If someone's in the back significantly faster, just let him go. So we got a 1 second gap to the P5 since the guy last time around spinned out on the main straight. I had a little bit more air to breathe. What I really found out compared to rFactor 2 is that you have to be really smooth and very kind in terms of the steering inputs. You shouldn't overturn the wheel, you shouldn't over push the throttle, you really have to make a good job on the tires, only turn as much as you really need, don't slide it at all. Despite the tires reading is a little bit different, like if you look at tires, I think it's right there, they are still showing 100%, and at the end of the race they might still show 98, and the temperature will all be equal and do not look bad at all. However, the handling is very sensitive, and the handling will change a lot during the race, starting with some understeer. And I want to have the look on the relative side of the gaps. Was close to a crash. If you lose it with that car, it's gonna go quite fast. Oh, Ross, that could be an interesting fact, but I have no clue at all. I think we might check towards the end of the race again whether there has changed anything on the tire side. Fuel-wise, you are right. I haven't burned a single decimal of fuel on the first 4 laps, so yeah, might support or might actually confirm your theory. Yeah, and I agree with what Kevin just said. I mean, in rFactor 2 you really feel when you punish the tires, or you really feel when going over the limit. Here in iRacing you like lock up for 1 corner and then you maximize the time for that, but for the next 3, 4, 5 corners you just got overheating tires and you don't really get them back into the right window, and that will then harm your pace quite a lot. That was close. I don't think I'm gonna survive this race without another incident. Would be to my liking though, but kinda doubt I'd do it. I did not know that they introduced those racing lines there. I have no clue how to disable them either. Please don't get the impression I really need them. However, on a track you do not really know, and on a car you do not really know. It's quite a bit of orientation, since iRacing does not forgive too much of mistakes, so it helps quite a lot. In some points I really make use of it, but as you can see in the final corner, I have a different way on approach and I have a different way on the exit. Same for the uphill right-hander, which I'm approaching again now. I do not go too far to the outside, as the racing line here does. Maybe that's part of the issue, but I saw several people taking it the way I do. So I rather trust fast people who managed a gap of 15 seconds to me already, rather than this basic racing line. I mean, for people who are not familiar with iRacing and coming from consoles or entering the sim racing section, those racing lines are very good for the beginning, very helpful, but it's definitely nothing you're gonna win a race with, which is good in that way, because those lines should tell you a little bit of a story of where to go and where not to go, and where to brake and where not to brake. But they shouldn't make you having the edge on the track at the first lap. Alright, we got the 2.5 second gap to the back. Nothing really we could do towards the front. But with the current state, I'm really happy, I think. Despite the considerably low power it got as a race car, the car is quite easy to spin around. Lap time wise, I'm consistently doing 101.6s or 101 highs. This one's probably a 102 now. And it was a 101.9. I have to say I do not really enjoy racing iRacing, but this time it's really the first time I really do. Like, I tried to qualify for the Sim Racing Expo tournament, and I really had hard times, like to accept to be 2 to 3 seconds off, which definitely has to do with the low amount of time I deal with iRacing. I do a lot of rFactor, as you may know. Right, this is third place up ahead there. Yes, it is. Just let me live. And he nudged me. And that's the point of thing. If someone nudges you or hits you while braking, and you are just there, you give him room, you can be on the very outside line, the game just gives you an incident for contact. And that is something, especially for building your iRating, you cannot, me personally, I can't accept it. Like, I'm racing for high competition, I'm racing for being successful, and I want to have fair and square racing. Something that this iRating system shall introduce. However, if you haven't done anything wrong, and someone outbrakes himself like completely or spins into you or whatever, and you're not to blame at all for this incident, yet iRacing gives you 4 of the 17 allowed incidents, and that is really frustrating. And that's the reason why, trying to build your iRating, you try to be at the very front, running clean air like I do right now. 2 seconds gap to the car behind, 1.6 maybe, but you just wanna focus on yourself rather than being attacked or attack, and make sure no contact is being made. And that's quite a challenge sometimes. And I think that's exactly what happened right now. The P3 guy that crashed in front of me had the car which didn't really steer anymore, or which wasn't really controllable. Hence he tried finishing the race. And yeah, it seems like he just took out another guy who now complained about him. And that's the real frustrating thing. I mean, of course, as a racing driver, when being in a race, you try to make your positions, you try to give your best, and you don't really go slow on purpose, just stay behind someone for whatever reason. That's just not a nature of a racing driver. But if you then decide to overtake people and such stuff happens, it's really frustrating. So I really can feel that guy. Yeah, Dylan, I have a reason for it. I simply didn't know that it is in place, and I simply don't know how to tear it off. And I only make use for it for the braking point in turn 1. Other than that, I'm totally fine for myself. Thanks, Ross, for blaming me. I need it. That's really, really handy of you. By watching, you should see that I do not necessarily follow it, even as it is accurate for some corners. It looks like I follow it, but I don't. Oops. That was close of a loss of control. But Dylan, speaking of racing lines, would you think that some drivers in FSR would do a better job when there would be some driving lines? Yeah, I mean, of course, as a good driver, or as a driver with some results in the history, if there's a racing line on, people will say, "Ah, that's the way you do it." but then you simply have to say nope, that's not the way I do it, even if it looks like that. So 2 seconds gap. I think the following lap will be the final lap on. Yeah, Dylan, I think so too. Hence why I asked. I have nothing, or no one in mind in particular, but I mean, I even get it on my own team, like, how do you take this, how do you take that, and you know, sometimes you can't really explain it. I mean, I take a corner because I think it's the fastest way around it, the way I do it. Either I feel it, either I know it, either I just think it. There are different reasons for this, but yeah, in the end, I mean, lines that does suit me might not suit my teammate Martin Stefanko, either won't it suit any of you guys here. Sometimes it has to do with setup and driving style and everything. But for now, I'm super happy for taking third in this race here. Quite a result I did not really think to get. Like in the beginning of the race, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be happy if I'm P5. But yeah, 2 other guys from the front crashed out, and I could make benefit from it. And I agree with Kevin. In some leagues, some guys really turn up on race day, put the first best setup they find on it, and just try to go around the laps, and they completely do wrong on hairpins or in some chicanes, and I mean, do wrong in that perspective is like braking too late, having the wrong turning points, hit the apex to the wrong time or in the wrong position. Something you would really not learn, but something you would really know of if you would have prepared yourself good. And I just see that one guy is gonna be reported. Fair enough. Yeah, and that was our race. Looking at the results, 24 seconds gap to the leaders, to the winners. Despite that, I'm considerably happy. So let's have a look how this race then will hand out on our rating. And that helped me quite a lot as far as I can see, since I was clearly in the 1300s before. Not sure if my series results already show it. So if you're interested in racing or in see me racing without having any aids like driving lines, you may want to join my live stream, which is in about 20 minutes, where I do the free practice sessions of my career mode in F1 2017 in a McLaren against the 110% AI. That's not fun, because I clearly lose out against them in that car. But I haven't started the series. I have started the series like that, so I quickly carry on for the sake of well, willingness to score some point at some point. And yeah, I will go live about that in 25 minutes, so 1 p.m. Central European time, and I would be happy to re-welcome you at that stream. Looking at the results now, we got it there. This was the second race today. Having a look at it. Yes, Ross, someone else in McLaren. Right, we bait some guys being in A or B class, and that really helps our license class with a 3.55. We gained a 0.12 on it, and for iRating, I think we did the best job so far out of the pack with gaining most of the iRating. The iRating is something you get a specific amount of iRating in combination of your position together with the strength of field and the guys you keep behind you. So I'm clearly with the lowest iRating from the front three, and I had one of the lowest iRatings before that session started because I entered with 1300 and all the guys having had something in the minus, even that guy here. So I was the guy with the lowest iRating, and as you can see, being a P3 there definitely helps it. But if you imagine that to join the real iRacing series, you need like, I think 3,500 iRating by gaining 80 iRating per race, and that was a good race, apart from the one incident. It takes you ages, and yeah, that's probably the reason why I do not too much of iRacing. So I also have some fun doing the F1 2017 competition offline on the career mode, and that's what we're going to see in about 20 minutes, so I would be happy to see you guys there again. All I can say now is ciao for now, and yeah, keep racing, guys.